Howdy there, partners. This is the B-Side Book Reviews, and today we're going to ride the dark trail with Louis L'Amour. Yeah, it's raining outside, and it's like 3:30 in the morning, and I ain't got nothing better to do. So let's take a look at Louis L'Amour's Ride the Dark Trail. I'm going to put my bandana on so I can look all cowboy, get my coffee, and here we go. Saddle up. Yippee-i-o-ki-yay. Yeehaw! Yeehaw. Anyway, here we go. Jake Flanner has got himself a belly full of trouble. There's good pasture land up yonder, and he's got a hungering for it. Problem B, there's this tough old bird camped out in her big old house with a big old gun, threatening to pick off anyone who comes near. Now, the old bird is none other than Emily Talon, and she's got legal stake to this here land because her and her late husband homesteaded it. However, Flanner's an ornery old cuss who's the big dog in these here parts, and he ain't gonna let no old lady stand in his way as long as he's got someone else to do his dirty work. Now, the last time he took on Emily, known to her friends as the lady took out both of his kneecaps, putting him on crutches for the rest of his days. Now, Flanner sets his eyes on some drifter who's blowing into town to do the job. Yep, Logan Sackett is as tough as a 2-bit steak, and when riled, can be meaner than a timber wolf covered with hungry fleas, carrying a bad case of hemorrhoids. Yes, sir, he can take out old lady Talon for sure. Hold on there, partner, because as anyone who reads Louis L'Amour books knows, the Sacketts are not to be tangled with. But they're fair and just folks. Now, we find that out when Logan rescues sweet little, still wet behind the ears, Pennywell from Flanner's unsavory brood. Fearing for the young lass's safety, he takes her up to Emily's house. Yes, he charms old Em and decides to stick around and help her whoop up those mangy varmints who are trying to take her land. Besides, Logan discovers that Em and him come from the same Tennessee stock. She's something like a Logan's second cousin's, wife's, aunt's, field hand's, horseshoer's, lady-in-waiting, stepmother's, great aunt. Oh well. Nonetheless, kin is kin, and he plans to stay put like a tick buried into a fat dog until Emily's rid of Flanner and his bunch of vermin. Although Flanner plugged Em's husband a while back, she's got 2 sons out there that could be of help. Now, her son Barnabas is out gallivanting around Europe somewhere, while her other son Milo is out riding the outlaw trail. Yeah. Now Milo, well, he's hell with the pistol, and Logan is determined to get word out to him that his ma needs his help. Besides, Logan is getting a little jackrabbit in him and needs to be a-moving. Not only that, but he feels that Pennywell is starting to get a little sweet on him. After all, she's at the ripe old age of 16 and not hitched yet. Darn near an old maid. Now, she keeps pinching her cheeks and biting her lip to bring out the color in her skin. Logan figures he better skedaddle before the poor girl starts bashing her head against the walls to bring out even more color in her face. I wonder if that works. Now Logan heads for the high country down the outlaw trail, where he runs into a bunch of goons who are out looking for horse thieves. Well, when they can't find their horse thieves, they decide to settle for Sackett. Now Sackett does get word to M's son Milo that she needs his help, but now he's got a posse hot on his trail with plans of stretching his neck. Now don't that beat all? Don't fret none though, because this ain't Logan's first rodeo, and he manages to escape the noose and find his way back to the Empty. Now the Empty is Emily's ranch. Yep, the name comes from E-M-T. Empty. Or something like that. It was too darn confusing to give just a whole lot of thought to. Well, when Logan goes into town, Flannery and his boys fill him full of lead. But don't count this Sackett out just yet, because here comes this dude all dressed up like one of them funny boys. But he's good with a gun and saves our hero. But hold on there, he's not one of them funny boys. That's Emily's son Barnabas, who has come home from that fancy dancy land of France. Then his brother Milo shows up. So now that mangy old cuss Flannery has the whole family to deal with. And poor little Pennywell has a whole house full of men, folks. So she's probably just beating the tarnation out of herself trying to bring out more color in her face. Whoa! So, does M prevail over that varmint Flannery? Well, I'm not telling. But this is a Lewis L'Amour book, and I've never read one yet that ends bad, so I just go figuring. Now it's kind of interesting how our author here wrote the book in first person, and the passages dealing with Logan Sackett, which was most of the book. But when Logan wasn't in the picture, the narrative went back to second person. Now, I thought that was kind of cool. Then again, there were a few things in this story that kind of screwed with my mind a little bit. Now, Logan always referred to his horse as a Rowan. Rowan. Now, I guess I'm just too much of a tenderfoot to know that the word Rowan, when referring to a horse, has to do with the animal's color. Now, according to Wikipedia, Rowan is defined generally as an even mixture of white and pigmented hairs that do not gray out or fade out as the animal ages. Now, I reckon that's kind of like my wife's hair, except we refer to her way of not graying out as L'Oreal here. Perhaps I should start referring to her as a Rowan. Rowan. Nah. Reckon I probably shouldn't. No. Rowan. 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 Speaking of stuff that I just didn't understand, Logan Sackett is as bad as backwoodsy and country as they come. Meaning, he used so many good old country symbolic sayings, I almost felt like I was reading a hillbilly version of James Joyce. Some of his references I just never did get. Once he referred to his saddle horn as an apple. I At least I think that's what he was talking about, because he was about to get into a gunfight. And I doubt if he was having a hungering for some fruit. But, who knows? Now, don't that make your brain go all cattywonkered? Now, Aunt Howland was a tough old bird, but there's one passage in this book that mentions how her long johns were showing when she mounted her mule. Now, that's the only vision that comes to mind when I think of her. Some old lady in her long johns. Ew. Yeah, I could have lived without that image. Now, Logan Sackett was your classic Louis L'Amour badass. Maybe a mite more edgy than most of our Louis L'Amour heroes, though. Now, Logan had no issues about plugging someone and asking questions later. He was a real man's man, standing over 6 feet tall and weighing in at a mean and ripped 215 pounds. Kinda like me. Yes, no wonder little Pennywell kept abusing herself, trying to get the color in her cheeks to attract him. Oh, but Logan wasn't biting her bait, though, because he had plans for California. But wait a minute. He did flirt a bit with some little 17-year-old redhead when he was out looking for Milo. Well, that silver-tongued devil romanced her by telling her that he'd be back a-courting, so she'd best keep a plate full of donuts on hand for him. Now, I reckon that was the delicacy of romance back in them days. I'm a bit more of a chicken fajita man myself, but I suppose we all have our certain meal that arouses our loins. Maybe sirloins. Now, as for Pennywell, love that name, by the way. Did all women have to resort to self-abuse to pretty themselves up? I guess the only women who wore makeup back in them days were those skanky old nasty painted-up whores who worked in them there saloons. Instead of using mascara, a good proper lady just bashed herself in the eyes a few times, hoping for a little bruised color. Yup, times were tough back in them days. You'll pinch your little color. Let's see what that does. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Now, other than my copy kind of falling apart every time I tried to turn a page, this book was a great read. Of course, with a name like Ride the Dark Trail, well, one might expect a little more, I don't know, dark stuff going on. Wait a minute. Maybe we could have made him some deep backwoods voodoo priestess who conjures up the dead natives who have been killed in the Indian Wars. Oh yeah, now we're talking. Then she could have had all these feathered-wearing zombies take out Flanner and his boys with their blood-stained tomahawks out on the trail. Now that's a ride on the dark trail. Oh well, it's just a thought. My bandana keeps it coming off. Gonna put this on, you try to get it there tight, and Lord, you just start yeah, that's a little better. Anyway, that was Louis L'Amour's Ride the Dark Trail. It's your normal Louis L'Amour book. There's good guys, there's bad guys. The good guys beat up on the bad guys. Yeah, Louis L'Amour wrote about 19 million books like this, and they're all kind of alike. But anyway, they're still good books to read. So start reading. You got 19 million of these to go through, so go read a book. Take this off. Feels better.